Biggest mistake number one people do when they're goal setting on today's Think Share. Hello and welcome to Think Share. My name's Zach, here to bring to you what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to, that doesn't belong in math class, that you really just probably won't learn in school unless you have some really good teacher that do goal setting outside of school. Having said that, if you like and appreciate goals and you're trying to learn more of it, give this video a like. If you want more, subscribe. Let's talk about what we're here for today. Hi, Aspen. I know you're excited about goals too. So, last year I read this book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. This book is geared mostly towards people working on a team that are trying to come up with their goals and execute. Half of causing goals to happen is execution. We can set giant goals, we can set big targets, we can get excited, we can talk about it, but execution is really that's like the main part of making things happen. So you can plan all day, but if you can't complete a sales call, you're not gonna make sales. Here's the issue that a lot of people do. A lot of people set targets. So say a 90-day target for me was to have my first coaching client as a goals coach. So that's a great goal to have. It's a specific time bound for April 1st. It's doable. I need to do some things to make that happen. What are the things I need to do to make that happen though? This is where people make the mistake. They just write down that goal, first client, April 1st. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. What do we do? This is where a lot of people stop their goal setting and they need to continue digging. Next, you gotta figure out what there is to do to accomplish that. So for myself, that looked like a couple of different things. One is having conversations almost daily, or setting myself a quota for amount of conversations per week. So that means I'm talking to people, hey, this is my goal. This is what I offer. What kind of goals do you have? Are you interested in having coaching to accomplish those goals? Do you need someone to hold you accountable? That's one thing, have conversations. 2, and this was actually successful, is I made a YouTube video talking about goals. Setting hashtags, commenting on other YouTube pages for people that seem like goals are pretty important to them and they're willing to do more than just writing it down to make it happen. They're interested in coaching. Again, still pretty much conversations. So my lag measure, which is the language that was used by the book, is having the one client, signing the one client with a contract and having numbers in it, like having that happen. That's a lag measure. It's like if you're driving a car to a destination, the lag measure is the final result. It's arriving at the destination. How do you get to the destination? Well, you gotta drive and you gotta hit the gas pedal. So what are the lead measures? That's the other language that was given by the book. Lead measures for me are having conversations. So let's look at a couple different types of goals that people make and which ones are lag, which ones are lead. So for example, probably the number one thing anyone sets goals about and probably fails about it, like percentage-wise in people doing it, losing weight. The lag goal, the final measure is, guess it out loud to yourself or to the people around you that you're watching this with, it's checking the scale. If it's specifically about losing weight, be checking the scale and having the number be 10 pounds less than it was before, or kilos. All right, what's the lead measure? Lead measure is the thing you can influence, the thing that you do. How do you drive the car to get where you're going? You diet, you exercise. Those are probably your 2 main options. Whether it's limiting it or replacing bad habits with good habits. Maybe it's a specific habit that you're working on. And that's one of the other parts of this goal setting is I recommend people find a habit to take up because you are what you do, and what you do is your habits mostly. Here's another one, salesperson that is trying to make money, right? Sales, that just like me, the client, that's the end goal. How do you get there? Calls and conversations and registration conversations. All right, next one, teachers. This is a little harder, and I've thought about this a lot. Test scores are often something that teachers have to care about. Not that they want to necessarily, but it's a numerical way to measure how their students are doing. It's not always how they're doing. Sometimes it is the students and what's going on in their lives and getting in their way. But here's what we can't, like teachers say, okay, well, what's in my control? I can't do the test for them. And I think some of the best things are planning. If you're planning your lessons, having someone look over them, revising them, as well as reflecting on them, saying, how did this go? What can I do better? So that as time progresses, you can be looking at what things need to be improved for you to get the test scores you want. And you could have little pre-tests or assessments along the way to see how people are doing. Last one I'll say for students could be a skill that you're trying to get. So say you want to do better in math class. It could be the amount of practice problems that you complete and get checked and review with a tutor or a mentor or your teacher. In the comments, let me know, is there something that you have a goal of that you're having a hard time saying what the lag and what the lead measures? I can help you figure that out. So pretty much any goal that you want to make happen, you want to be able to know what the lead measures are. Someone else that I'm working with, they want to make their entire house green. They want to get rid of the gas. They want everything electric. And so for them, it's research and spending X amount of hours per day / per week to make that happen. Another person is trying to accomplish some things in basketball. So for them, the thing that they can influence is shooting X amount of shots or taking the amount of time necessary they want every day. Larry Bird, for those that don't know, the way he got so good at shooting was he shot, I believe it was 500 free throws before school every day of high school. Big results. So, lead measures, lag measures. Lead is what you do, that's how you get there. Lag is the destination itself. People get those confused, and it can be kind of tough when you're setting goals to not include the lead measures. A lot of people miss those. I'll be coming out with a couple more tips, as I think a lot of people miss out on these things, and I would love to share them with you based on the various books I've read and personal experience that I've had. I am now about 3 weeks strong with doing my daily journaling. Meditation has not been quite as consistent, and I'm happy to say I've accomplished, well, not quite done with that process, but I've pretty much accomplished my April 1st goal of having my first coaching client. We have numbers. We have a verbal agreement. We just do not have a written agreement, and that will be next, and we'll start executing on them ASAP. Thank you again for watching. If you like this, if you have questions, if you have more that you want to talk about, think about for goal setting, let me know in the comments. I would be happy to answer them. Goals are something I'm really passionate about, because I think when people are really going after goals that are big, that are scary, that are hairy, the real self comes out. Like the real person that they are comes out of their being. It's like, holy crap, I didn't know that person existed. I love seeing people be in that state of mind, like that pure, happy, like expressed, like on the edge of their seat, on the edge of like the cliff of their life moment. Like for me, the idea, like I've coached people before, but I've never gotten paid to do that before. This is a really scary moment for me, is asking for money in return for my coaching service. I know logically that I have value, but emotionally, I don't really appreciate my value yet. So this is a big glass ceiling that I believe I've cracked at least, and I look forward to smashing in the near future. Speaking of smashing, if you like to smash like buttons, go ahead and do that if that's the thing you're into, or just click it. If this was useless, if this sucked, give it a dislike. Let me know in the comments why it sucked. Thank you for watching. I know this is a long video. I'll try to stop talking. I just have a lot to say. I'm excited. I can't help it. Thank you for watching. As always, stay mindful, keep meditating, keep setting goals. Stay weird, humans.